Well, hello everyone, this is Jeff with another unboxing video. I come back a couple weeks ago from a trip to China. And a couple of the models that aircraft I flew on are available. So there we have it. First one I'll unbox is the China Southern. This is an InFlight 200 model, 1/200 scale model. The item number is IF333CZ0518. CZ is the airline code for China Southern. This is InFlight 200 model, so this has also been delivered from Easy Toys, which is where I got the other model I'm going to unbox as well. They do a good job with their packaging and everything too, and I've got some models from them previously. So this is the A330-300, which is the type that I flew on. They also fly the A330-300 as well. So let's have a look at the box here. Not a whole lot going on there with the packaging, but nice to see that InFlight does do some kind of interesting things with their packages. And they do just a standard sleeve. So this model is going to be B8361 is the registration. And let's see, this is InFlight, so we do have the metal stand, but it does have the details on the plaque there, which always sets this apart, and that's always a nice feature. So very cool. Gray metal. We got this little pad to protect the body of the fuselage. A little piece of leftover there. Pull that off. Now InFlight has just recently started doing the removable gear, so that is nice to see that we have that. We've got the doors there as well if we want to have those in place for an in-flight look. Plus there's a little tool in there to pop those in and out. And then we have the gear. InFlight hasn't got to the point like the Gemini does with their flaps down versions where they can have the two things on there, but this isn't a flaps down version, so I will be using the gear but won't have that authentic sort of landing look. So let's have a look here. Now China Southern does have a really cool livery. I like the flower on the tail and the blue. It looks very striking and stands out very much so at the airport. I flew through LAX to Shenyang, which is in the northeastern part of China, and didn't fly on this exact registration, but I flew on B8360U, and that was the registration I was on. Now this aircraft was the 17th A330 delivered, and the aircraft that I flew on was the most recent delivery. Now at the time of this model being brought out, China Southern was a member of SkyTeam, but they are no longer, as of January 1st, 2019, they are no longer a member of SkyTeam. So this is not totally, it was correct at the time. So I got this from Easy Toys, as I mentioned. The price is about $130 or so, and the shipping was free because I bought the two models at the same time. This is an Airbus A330-300. This particular registration, B8361, the serial number on that's 1814, and this is a type Airbus 330 type 343E. The first flight date of this particular aircraft was on August 23rd, 2017, and it delivered September 27th, 2017. So it's pretty new, 2.4 years old. The test registration was F-WWKF. And when I was flying on this A330, not this particular one, I was in 44A, which is about 5 rows in front of this door here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was in the window seat. So the takeoff was after 1 a.m. from LAX, and we arrived very early in the morning, about 6 o'clock in the morning in Shenyang. So it was dark both times, so I wasn't able to take a picture or video or trip report, so unfortunately. So we see the L1 door, we see the SkyTeam logo, we see the Wi-Fi marking there to show that this aircraft is Wi-Fi equipped. We've got the radome cover here with the lines marking it. This is where some of the glide slope equipment and also the weather radar is housed underneath this. Angle of attack sensors. Then we have some static ports here and marked out in the red here. And then what I can only assume is China Southern, but I will translate this when I have a chance to take a break where I can take a photo of that. I'm guessing it's probably saying China Southern Airlines. We have the L2 door as well as the Wi-Fi marking next to that door. And then here we see a couple of illumination lights. One is a nacelle inspection light, and then there's numerous landing lights and such that the aircraft uses when it's taxiing and also flying at low level. So in-flight models do a really nice job with their markings, and this is not failing that at all. So we've got our L3 door. We have the emergency access markings here in the red squares there. Airbus A330-300, our registration, and then the L4 door. And then that very striking vertical stabilizer. We've got our horizontal stabilizer here with the elevators, the tail inspection light or illumination light. Very nice. The empennage looks really nice. We got the markings for the trim on the horizontal stabilizer. The exhaust for the auxiliary power unit. Let's look at the other side here. So on the starboard side we have our SkyTeam logo again. Here's another angle of attack sensor, I would assume. There's also numerous pitot tubes that are located here that detect wind speed, direction, things of that nature. More static ports. The opening for the forward hold. These are where the LD3 cargo units go. Those boxes that carry your luggage and such are loaded into the side, as well as cargo. Here's another set of static ports. Get this nice black and blue, or dark blue and lighter blue cheat line along the side of the aircraft. That's one of the things that makes it really stand out when you see it, is those colors are very striking. Especially on the A380, which is just also so big it's easy to spot. Our R1 and R2 doors, and that China Southern in the all cap font. Escape markings there above the wing. There's no escape walkway here because there's no door to get out of, so there's no reason for it. The R3 door. And the A330 is just this really smooth, quiet, wide-body aircraft. It's very comfortable. It's quieter than the 777, although of course obviously the 777 has much larger engines, but the Airbus A330 is very smooth and generally quite comfortable to fly on. We have the rear cargo loading door here. And then we have the bulky item bin here, which sometimes they'll use for your last minute luggage items that are people are just getting to the gate at the very last moment, or the luggage is on a delayed flight previously and takes time to get to the aircraft. Not sure what this door here is. Can't obviously read that, it's so small. And then we have the starboard side of the vertical stabilizer. So let's have a look at the top of the aircraft. We have our numerous air traffic control antennas, traffic collision avoidance system antennas, VHF antennas. This is the SATCOM box for the aircraft and the equipment and such. The engines communicate with the ground. Also, the pilots communicate with their people through this box as well. And then back here we have our GoGo box, which is the Wi-Fi. Anti-collision beacon here. We've got our two ADF auto direction finder antennas, 1 and 2. And they are raised up there, so you can see that they have a nice 3D look. Everything's kind of standing up, so you can really get a true sense of its appearance. And then we have another VHF antenna here. And then I'm thinking this one at the very aft here is probably the emergency locator transmitter. But if anyone knows better, then please let me know. Then we have our registration again, B8361. Very nicely done. InFlight does a really nice job with all their markings. So we have the registration here. We've got our lashing point for the service of the service personnel. Do not walk outside of this area. Very clearly marked there on the wing for people if they are making some kind of emergency exit, and that's just to make sure they don't fall off. So we've got our slats here, the aft part of the wing, or the, excuse me, the forward part of the wing. And then on the aft we have the flaps or spoilers, inboard outboard flaps, flap track fairing. There's our fuel dump. Here's our ailerons. And again we have this marking here, the same marking which I'm guessing is China Southern, and the do not walk outside of this area. So on the end of the wingtips we do have the flower again. That's the kapok flower, which is a tree. So this China Southern, they're based in Guangzhou, China, and the kapok flower is the city flower of Guangzhou, China. On the underside, we have our APU housing doors. Probably another VHF antenna, and most likely a drain. I think this is probably a drain. Got the doors where the gear would be, and these are smooth. They're not grooved out like you would see in some of the other models, to give it more of a 3D appearance, like the doors actually open there. We've got the doors for AC packs and such, the hole for the stand, anti-collision beacon. This is a drain again, I believe. It's shaped in that way. And Airbus definitely uses a drain that's that shape. And then there'll be numerous other antennas down here, distance measuring equipment antennas, as well as some other ATC antennas. We've got the doors for the nose gear, and we've got the escape hatch for the pilots from the nose gear area. There's also some lighting there as well. So let's get the stand here. So also when I flew on China Southern, I did get my logbook signed, which was nice, another addition to the collection. And that was flew on CZ 610 in 12 hours, 52 minutes, 6,106 miles. And the seat configuration for the aircraft was, I think it's layout 1. I wasn't able to really nail down exactly which layout it is, but it has 4 first class seats, which is basically one row in the very forward part of the aircraft. Then it has 24 business class seats, which is past that first row of first class all the way to the L2 door. Then it has 6 rows of premium economy, and that's from the L2 door here, or the R2 in this case. And then also the remaining is economy class, which will be those 6 rows all the way to the back of the aircraft. It's in a 242 configuration, which is fairly comfortable. You only have to get past one person in order to get out and get to the aisle, which is nice. The 3 configuration on the 777 on the wing side, or the outboard side, the outboard 3 seats makes it such that whoever has the window always has to climb across 2 people. So looking nice and straight on the stand there. Looks good. Sometimes the stand doesn't really hold the model in a nice level position, but this one's nice and snug. Very nice. So this, yes, the engines are 2 Rolls-Royce 772 B60s. Length of this aircraft 209 feet, wingspan 198 feet, height at the tail 55 feet, maximum takeoff weight 533,000 pounds. It's a real workhorse, competitive with the Dreamliner now from Boeing, and before that the 767. The empty weight 270,000 pounds, max fuel payload 240,000 pounds. I mean, 120 tons. Just crazy. Range 6,350 nautical miles. Unit cost when new $259 million is the list price on these. So a little bit about China Southern. They were established July 1st, 1988. They're one of China's big 3 airlines, along with Air China and China Eastern. They have a fleet size of 850 aircraft, including their cargo group. They have 46 A330s, 32 of which are the 300 series. As I mentioned before, this is the 17th Airbus A330 delivered to China Southern, the 300 series. The flight code for China Southern is CSN, or CZ, as I said also. The tail spindle is called the kapok flower with the blue vertical stabilizer, and it's a red cotton tree, a small tree, just a decorative tree. They have the largest fleet, the largest route network, and the largest passenger capacity of any Chinese airline. 224 destinations in 40 countries, 140 million passengers in 2018, making it the 8th largest airline in the world. They do have a goal to become the world's largest airline, and at the rate they're growing, I don't think that they're going to have any problem achieving that in the near future. So they have a limited agreement with American Airlines after departing SkyTeam in 2019, and may join Oneworld in the future, seeing that American Airlines is associated with Oneworld. So let's see if these fan blades spin. Usually with the in-flight models they tend not to, but we never know. Oh, it seemed like it might. That one spins pretty good. So you can see that the Rolls-Royce engines here have a lot of good markings on them. The thrust reverser doors. It even has the drain here on the side of the engine, or close to the bottom of the engine, as well as the warning markers for the personnel near the engine. And then it's the same engine on the other side, so very nice detailed markings there. So they've done a really nice job with this model. I like how this is a little bit different, because sometimes the registration will be on the top but not on the bottom. In this case we do see that we have the information, the China Southern here, and the B8361, the registration, so it's good to see it on both. And we've got our green navigation light here on the leading edge of the wingtip, and then on the port side we have the red navigation light. So an outstanding job with the true to real model here that InFlight does. Always impressed to see how good a job they do. And the A330 is just a really nice looking aircraft, and a true pleasure to ride on. So this model, I got it from Easy Toys. It was the last one they had, so I think that if it's the only way to get it now would be on eBay, so it's going to be a bit hard to find it. It's been out for some time, but I hadn't flown on this airline at that point, so it wasn't for me to get the model yet. But I'm glad to have flown another carrier. This was my 39th airline that I've flown on, and then on the way back we flew on all Nippon Airways, so that was my 40th carrier. But yeah, it looks good on the stand. A really nice model. Let me know if you have this one or if you're planning on getting it. Okay, so let's have a look at this gear here. It does tilt. It's all metal. It does roll very well. Likewise. And InFlight always do a real nice job with the gear, so I'm always thankful for that. Is this right? The shock does go the other way. I'll mess with that. I don't want to force it and break it, so yeah, it looks good. Sits nice and straight. There is no light in, no nose gear lights in the nose gear, and no jewels here in the landing lights, which hopefully InFlight will start to have more often on their models coming up. And as always, subscribe to my channel, give me a like if you like this video, and thanks for watching.